Good morning, everybody. Welcome one more time to our space called Vuela Alto in Eduyolo. Today we have a very special guest, Aida. She is from Romania. She will tell us a little bit about what is needed to be working overseas. Welcome, Aida, and thank you so much for the invitation. Thank you so much for being here and accept our invitation.
Thank you so much for inviting me. So it's very exciting to be here. I'm myself a little bit nervous. It's the first time I do this, but I think it's really interesting and really for me to share my own experience. So I'm Romanian. I been born in a small village outside Bucharest in Romania. For those that they don't know where Romania is, it's in Eastern Europe.
I was actually asking you about, like, who are you? Tell us a little bit about yourself. Who are you? Like, when I met you in Dubai, you know, like, you told me a little bit about yourself, but I was like, wow, you need to tell your story. These people from South America need to listen to your story. So I'm going to translate a little bit before, so we continue. Chicos, ¿cómo están? Bienvenidos otra vez a un encuentro más de Eduyolo en Vuela Alto. Todos los domingos nos reunimos a las 11 de la mañana. Bienvenidos. El día de hoy tenemos a Aida. Ella es una invitada muy especial, quien vive en Dubái, pero es de Rumania. Así que ella nos va a contar un poquito acerca de ella. Yo voy a tratar de traducir un poquito, pero en realidad este espacio es también para que ustedes puedan practicar un poquito también su inglés. Entonces voy a acordarme de traducir, okay? I was just translating Aida a little bit for those who just joined us, and I was telling them that I will try to translate a little bit, but mostly this is opportunity for them to practice their English, because if they are looking for a job overseas, you know, English is very important. So now let's retake the conversation. Aida, tell us, who are you? Who are you? Tell us a little bit about yourself, your story, everything. We want to hear everything.
Okay, so I'm coming from Romania. Romania is a small country in Eastern Europe, quite close to the border with Russia, although a lot of people think we are speaking Russian, we don't. Our language is a Latin language, so it's very close to Spanish. I understand, like, when you're translating now, I understood everything you said, although I don't speak Spanish, but our language is very similar. So although our accent might sound Eastern European, the actual words and the language is a Latin language. So I was born in a small village outside Bucharest from a very simple family of farmers. So since I was a kid, I was very interested in reading and in exploring. So I was the first one in our family that went for college, like for high school and for university. So I was always wanting, like, I want to study something that will help me to travel abroad. So I was born during communism. At that time, it was still communism in Romania. And I just wanted to get out of the country, to explore, to see other things. So I went for a high school, which was studying tourism, so international tourism. So in my mind of a child at that time, or a teenager, I thought, okay, if you are working in tourism, maybe you get a chance to travel or to work in a travel agency or in a hotel or something like that. I lost that dream on the way. I went for university, studied management, did my master's, away from the dream. And then 1 year after I graduated, I was doing an internship. Immediately after I graduated, I found an ad in the newspaper saying from Dubai that there is an open door interview in Bucharest from a hotel just opening in Dubai. So I thought, okay, let me try it.
How long ago was that?
Oh, it's 17 years ago.
You were like, how old you were? Like, you just saw in a newspaper a job in Dubai. So how that?
I was 24 years old. I just graduated. So yeah, I was doing an internship, but at the same time, I was looking for a more stable job. So I saw the newspaper and I thought, you know what? Let me try it. So I went for the interview, and actually what helped me to get a job in Dubai was actually my degree from the tourism, from high school. So my master degree didn't matter. My bachelor degree didn't matter much. It was my diploma of a worker in tourism that helped me to come to Dubai.
Oh, okay. That's how you
So
start.
that was the start. That was the start, definitely. And then nobody believed that I would come to Dubai. Everybody thought, okay, it's too much. You are a single girl. You are a young girl. You are going into a Arab world, an Arab country. My parents, they are not. They are very conservative people from the countryside. So. But I was so independent, and I wanted to know, this is my chance to go out of the country, to explore a bit, and then I'll come back to Romania and do something different. That never happened. 17 years later, I'm still in Dubai. My parents, they are happy having me here. At the beginning, they didn't manage it very well, but now they are happy. So this is how I started in Dubai, how I managed to put my foot in Dubai. From there, it was a long journey, 17 years. Sometimes calculated journey, sometimes planned, sometimes opportunity that came along. So I was working in the hotel, and first as a waitress, then I moved to receptionist.
Aida, before we move to your professional background, I would like to know, what is the difference in culture in Romania? Like, I know the Eastern Europe, it looks similar in cultural, similar to South America. You know, like, how is 17 years ago and how is now? It differs too much. How was, you know, like a girl from an area in Eastern Europe? What do your parents thought about it? Like, you know, in South America, we still think, like, you know, parents still think sometimes like, no, my daughter is too young, I don't want them to go overseas, it's very dangerous. And like, we still have a different mentality, I think, in a way, because I live in Albania. It's similar to Romania, maybe. Can you tell us a little bit about the cultural situation in your family when they came to know, when you tell them, I want to go to Dubai? What happened? How do they think?
It's true, and definitely because I was the small girl in the family, I have an elder brother. So my parents, they always wanted me to be close to home and to have a job that brings me close to home. I was studying in Bucharest, but they wanted me, for example, they wanted me to do teaching, to come and teach in the school in the village. This was their dream. But then it's my dreams, they are different. And I was very independent since I was a teenager. So I wanted to go to high school. I moved to Bucharest on my own, and I studied high school living alone. Of course, it's quite close to my parents' house, but I was living alone in the city. So I was quite independent. But again, the mentality of the people at that time is similar to what you are describing. So people, they are, especially thinking Dubai, if it was Western Europe, they would have probably understood more. But Dubai, it was something for them like, okay, it's an Arab country. They judge a country by what they see on TV. They think it's not a safe country. They think it's dangerous for a girl to be there. Also, they were at that time, and sorry for maybe I'm saying something wrong, in the newspapers in Romania, there were a lot of articles about prostitution from Dubai, like girls taken from, like they're traveling from Romania, promising that they will give them jobs, and then they're actually in this circle. So they are not very happy, but I had at least the job that I received. It was, I searched about the job, I searched about the hotel, so it didn't look like a fake job. And that was also for them a little bit more understanding. Like they were, the fact that I go with a secure job and I don't go exploring something, like just traveling and exploring. The fact that I had a job and I was working in a hotel, it was easy for them. But it's not easy. It's not easy for a parent to let you go abroad. It's not easy.
Especially, you know, in our cultures are similar, you know. And also, as you mentioned, you know, you research a little bit more about the job, and you felt secure, you felt like it was something safe. And I think, you know, nowadays a lot of everybody have more access to the internet, so we can research more. Before, it was just probably in the newspaper, it was just a friend who told you or something, you know, you never know. But now we have more chances, opportunities to see online and research, right? Before
Definitely.
we take that decision.
Yes, definitely. And Dubai now, it's in the world map as one of the big cities in the world, one of the touristic attraction, financial attraction. Everyone wants to come to Dubai as a tourist, to come to have a job. And from a personal experience, I think Dubai is one of the safest countries that you could live in. So for a single girl, I don't think there is a safer place in the world where you can be than Dubai.
I agree. I definitely agree.
Things have changed a little bit in the last 17 years, but I remember my first experience when I came to Dubai, where with the group of girls going to a bar. You leave your bag with your credit card, with your mobile phone on the table, you go dancing, you go chatting, and nobody will ever touch your things. It's the same today, but that for me was it's extremely safe. I don't think there is another place that's safe like Dubai.
Yeah, I
or
think,
like
you know,
Middle Eastern countries where we are living now.
Yeah, and sometimes, you know, in South America, people say, but, you know, as a woman, how do you feel in Dubai? As a woman, how do you dress in Dubai? Maybe you can tell us a little bit about it, so they don't hear it only from me, but they hear it also from somebody else who live in Dubai. So as a woman, you know, like, how is living in Dubai?
It's how to say it? It's not different than how I was dressing in Romania, for example. I came with my suitcase of clothes. It was the same thing I was wearing in Romania. I was wearing also when I came to Dubai. Of course, with time, you become a little bit more conservative and respectful, depending on the places you are going. So if you are going to the beach, you are wearing the same as you'd wear on a beach in Europe. But if you are going to a mall, or you are going to a restaurant, you might want to put something a little bit not that revealing, let's say, in respect for other people also. Of course, if you go and visit, for example, I had my parents visiting, and I took them to the most beautiful mosque that is in Abu Dhabi, which is one of the biggest tourist attraction places. So I was happy to have my abaya and to cover my hair, because even if I would go to a church in Romania, I would pay the same respect of covering my head when I go in a religious place.
Yeah, for those who don't know, what is an abaya?
For those that they don't know what is an abaya, it's a black dress. It's kind of an overall that you put on top of your clothes, and the scarf that you put on your hair. And I have two of those. I bought them. One is a gift from a friend from Saudi Arabia, and one I bought it myself because I travel quite often to Saudi Arabia. So in Saudi Arabia, now it's more open, but a few years back, you had to wear the overall dress. Now you can go with long sleeves, and even with trousers, you can go to in the country.
You know, the conversation with you is very interesting, because, you know, I see myself now in this part of the world just starting today, and like I feel like, oh, I was just there yesterday, but, you know, it's a very different area of the world that, you know, coming from South America, you don't imagine how it's living in Dubai, you know. And for like you and me who have been there, for us it's very normal, very, you know, like very nice and safe to be there, that I was just looking at and hearing you're listening to you, and I totally forget about translation. So I hope that nobody hears me that translation. So let me ask very quickly in Spanish. If somebody needs a little bit of translation, I will for sure be happy to do it. Chicos, me he olvidado de traducir. La verdad estaba muy entusiasmada y muy contenta de escuchar a Aida. Si alguien de aquí necesita la traducción, un poquito de traducción de lo que está pasando, o está un poquito confundido o algo, por favor escriban un mensajito que yo estaré encantada de traducir. Si todos ustedes entienden, pues continuamos con la conversación en inglés. Así que solo déjenme un mensajito, díganme yo necesito o algo, entonces yo ya voy traduciendo, apenas les voy haciendo más preguntas, ¿ok? Listo. So Aida, let's continue. I'm actually very excited to hear about, you know, your experience and everything as a woman in Dubai. Is just something that fascinates me, because, you know, South America and coming from South America, different background is totally different when you hear somebody who is living there for such a long time. So, Aida, how was your transition moving moving to an Arab country, like coming from Romania? You came alone. You already told us that. How was your transition when you arrived there? It was who do you remember who helped you? How was your setting up there in Dubai the very first time?
So I came working with a hotel, so it was the transition was quite easy because I already had a job. When I landed in Dubai, I went directly, and next day actually I started my job. I landed today, and next day I started my job. We came with a group of girls from Romania, so we were 5 of us who passed the interview. Actually, there was a group of 20, but in the end, only 5 accepted the offer to come to Dubai. Probably some of them changed their mind in between. So the 5 of us came in. So I had quite a good support from Romanian friends. But little by little, I made a lot of friends, and some of them, they are friends for life. I still have my first manager that was in the hotel is still one of my best friends even today.
Wow.
And it's from a different country, it's from Syria.
Oh, wow.
So I worked with Syrians, I worked with Indian, Filipinos, Jordanians, Egyptians. Like, this was the group of colleagues that we started working in the hotel at the beginning. It took me a while to start learning how to behave. I was a little bit stubborn, a little bit proud of my culture, of who I am, of my education. And I think that's a thing that I learned, and I put it also in the comments that I sent to you before. I think being in a country like Dubai and meeting so many nationalities and seeing people that they were big people in their country, but they started overcoming in Dubai, makes you a little bit humble. So at the beginning, I was like, I have a bachelor degree, I have a master's degree, I'm working as a waitress. Please don't talk to me like that, you know? So I was like really proud, but I think life and people around you teaches you that you start from lower, and you need to be humble as a person, and to start learning, to start understanding the people around you. So I think I learned a lot, sometimes not the easy way.
Wow.
To pay more attention to the people around and to the things around.
It's just amazing what you're telling us. So you were with a lot of nationalities around. Is Dubai a place where you find a lot of nationalities, or it's just like by coincidence that you...
Just to give you an example, in my current company and also in my company before, we are 59 nationalities. So in a company that we are 600 employees, we have 59 nationalities.
59. Wow.
59 nationalities in our organization, and majority of the organizations in Dubai, they have the same mix. Some of them less, some of them depending. If you are working more into government, then you'll find a lot of locals, Emirati, and few other nationalities. But if you work in multinational organizations, definitely more than 40, 50 nationalities you have in the same workplace.
Is Dubai a multicultural city then?
Yes, it is, definitely.
The culture there is not like, you know, when we think about Middle East, coming from South America, I imagine Middle East like everybody's Muslim, everybody have to wear the hijab, or like the what is the name of the other one?
And
the abaya. Like, it's nothing like that. And
no,
how it is Dubai? Like, for example, I have never been in Dubai. What will I expect when I arrive and land in Dubai in that airplane? What will I expect?
Definitely, it's a multicultural country with so many nationalities. So, for example, there are around 8 million people in Dubai, 8 to 9 million people in Emirates. So if you take 9 million, let's say, people in Emirates, 8 million, they are foreigners. So only 1 million, they are original Emirati population. So the rest, they are all over the world. You have, of course, a big part of it coming from Asia, so from Philippines, from India, Pakistan, Sri Lanka, China, but a lot also from Western Europe, from Africa, from Middle East itself, from other countries in Middle East. You'll find a lot of foreigners here. Definitely, whatever you want to do in Dubai, you'll find a place. If you want to eat any kind of cuisine you want, you'll find it. I'm very passionate about Indian food and Thai food and Japanese food. So whatever you would like to eat, you just open Zomato or Talabat and you order it. So
the applications
it's a place for everyone here. To be honest, it's a place, you have a lot of restaurants, a lot nightlife for those of you who are interested. It's not today because most of the places are closed at the moment, but you have a lot of clubs, a lot of bars, a lot of pubs, places to do sports, skydive, ski Dubai, water sports, football, gyms everywhere. Everybody's crazy about working out because
Dubai
here
sounds like a paradise for whoever wants to go and work overseas around so many expats from around the world, huh? Multicultural, so you don't only learn about one culture, but you learned about others. Wow, like 90% expats of in Dubai. That's amazing. Aida, can we jump a little bit to your professional background? Tell us about who you are professionally. Like, what is your background? What are you doing now? You know?
So just as a education, I studied management in a university in Bucharest, and I did my master's degree in HR and economics. Coming to Dubai, I started, I told you already, as a receptionist, as a waitress, moved to receptionist, and then I changed job. Here, like 17 years ago, it was quite normal to change job like every 2 years because a lot of companies, they are poaching you. It was quite a good market for jobs. So one of my colleagues that I came from Romania with her, she moved to a company, aviation company. And she asked me, do you want to come and work with us? We are opening a new office in Dubai and they are looking for a receptionist. Would you like to apply? So it was through a reference, my first move to another company. I think the chance that came to me, probably because I was prepared for it, first of all. So it is sometimes in life you have chances, but you also need to be prepared for it and also to be bold enough to take it. So I was working also as a receptionist in this aviation company. And then one day the HR manager left. And the owner of the company asked me, I know that you told me that you did HR in your graduation. So you have a diploma in HR. Would you like to work in the HR department? So next day I start working in HR, but because I had the qualification, first of all, I never practiced it, but I had a diploma in HR. Secondly, because I think I had a level of craziness and said, why not? Let me try it. What can go worse than what I have today, you know? So you need to be bold. So I tried, of course, it was very basic HR, just hiring people, interviewing people, doing visas, managing their working time, paying salaries. So very basic HR, but opened me to the career in HR. The next move was the biggest move I had in HR because I moved to a multinational organization. And it happened again because I had the background, and one day I was with a recruiter trying to recruit employees for our organization, so to make a contract. And at the end of the meeting, she asked me, would you like to look for another job for yourself?
Oh, wow. So you were working as a human resources in that aviation company, and somebody from the same...
From a recruitment agency,
okay.
She came for a meeting with me because we are looking to hire a lot of employees in our aviation company, and we wanted to use this agency to recruit for us. And at the end of the meeting, she told me, no, I like you very much. You behave very nice. You have a very good background. Actually, we are recruiting for this multinational organization, and I would like to put your CV forward for it. So
networking, basically, like, do you think it was like the interaction that you have with this person also that helped you to move forward?
I think it was, I was very, very open and very chatty and explaining what I need and what we want for our organization. So she realized that I have quite a good background in HR, and also that with my qualification from Romania, with my background degree in human resources, it was meeting the criteria of the job that she was looking for. Like, she had this job for a multinational company that they were actually looking for this. So I had a feeling at the end of the meeting that I passed an interview with her. So she asked me, can you share me your CV with me? I said, of course. I sent her the CV. A few weeks later, I already got an offer from Schneider Electric. It's a French multinational organization, quite big in Middle East, in engineering and electrical engineering. Quite a junior HR. And this is the way I started my journey in the multinational world.
Wow.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. So once you got in,
one of the learnings from here would be like, you need to have some background education. Definitely you need to have strong education, and then also to take a chance. So to look for those opportunities when they come, to grab them. Okay. Because they don't always come back. Like, you don't always have the same chance.
So if you have an opportunity, just take it and go for it, basically.
Yes,
just do it.
Exactly. Just do it.
So after you were telling us that you were in this multinational, that is a French company?
Schneider.
So
Schneider sounds German, but it's French.
Okay, so is that the one that you're working now, or after that?
No, it is. I worked for 7 years for that company. I started as a junior HR. I moved to an HR manager, to an HR business partner. So every 2-3 years.
With the same company?
With the same company.
Wow. So you started as a human resources junior, then
I moved to an HR manager, then to an HR business partner. Then I had an opportunity. I discussed with my manager. I had a French manager at that time, which I learned a lot from. And he asked me, one of my colleagues, she was doing her master's in human resources in Dubai. So he asked me if you'd like to do the same. So to get a certification in human resources here in Dubai, which is extremely valuable, the company is ready to invest in you. So we'll pay for it. But you have to stay with the company for until you finish the degree and 2 years after that. So it was more like a retention. So they invest, but at the same time, you need to commit to work for the company for a certain period of time.
It's very common that usually companies do that?
Not that much anymore, but there are a few companies. In my current company, we don't do it much. We do it mainly for executive levels. But in my previous company, we had quite a lot of people, especially the ones that you want to retain and you want to invest and you want to keep them secure, let's say.
Sometimes they do also that for international schools. If they want to keep you, they pay for your master's degree. And then but after you finish the studies, you have to stay 2 more years. So 3 more years with the same international school. So maybe sometimes it depends on the type of job, right? Or the type of the company, maybe.
True. So that helped me a lot because my certification from Romania was in management with a little bit of HR. But then at that moment, I didn't know that I want to work in HR. To be honest, when I came to Dubai, I didn't know what I want to do. It was just, it happened to move into HR. And then I realized that I like working in HR and it is something that I would like to do in the future. And then with the general background, I wanted to get specialized now. So I wanted to do a certification that will help me in this field that I chose. So at the beginning, it was more broad, but now I realized what I want to do. And it took me years. It took me like 6-7 years to realize that I want to do this. And then I did my master's in human resources here in Dubai.
You stay in the same company for 2 more years, and then how do you move to Philips?
Yes, I stayed exactly. I finished my master's in almost 2 years. I stayed another 2 years with them, and to be honest, 1 month after I completed my contract, I resigned, which was not very nice. So my again, quite a good opportunity. My previous manager from Schneider, she moved to Philips.
Oh, okay.
She was the head of HR for Middle East and Turkey for Philips. And I reached to her via LinkedIn because she left I think 1 or 2 years before she left to Philips. So at one point I reached out to her on LinkedIn asking, how are you doing? How is life in Philips? Enjoying your job? And said, yeah, very much. By the way, I have some opportunities opening at the moment. Would you be interested to apply?
So keeping the contact helps, huh?
Yeah, it is. To be honest, in my career, it helped. But I think it helps a lot also once you build your reputation. So you need to be very strong in what you do to be recognized for what you do. And then people, they tend to recommend you, to reference you. So you need to build your experience and your knowledge, and then people, they will refer you. So she approached me. I applied for the job. It was difficult for me at the time because I really loved to work in Schneider Electric, and I had an amazing team at that time. And starting again in a new company, although I knew my previous manager, it was again for me like, oh, I need to start again from the beginning, building again. Like in Schneider, everybody knew who I am. Everybody respected who I am. I had my colleagues who knew my professional, my expertise. I was comfortable. So now I was just getting out of my comfort zone, starting again from the scratch, you know, like, of course, I was going for a senior manager position, which was higher than what I had in Schneider. But again, you feel like you need to impress, again, a lot of people. It was not easy. Although she referred me, I had to go through the toughest interview of my life. I've been interviewed by the CEO and the 2 heads of 2 businesses in the same day, back-to-back interviews. So it was not that she referred me and I got the job. Nothing like that. I think because she knew me, they were even tougher with me to make sure that they are hiring me for the good reason. You know, like I'm not just a reference that I don't know what I'm doing. They wanted to be sure. So they really grilled me.
So it was the tough decision, the tough interview in your life. Why? What was difficult about? Because there are 3 different executive level people. One was Italian, one was German, one was Dutch. Different interviewing skills, different looking at different things in you. Like one was interested on, do you know systems? Do you need to know how to set up HR? How was in your previous job? Another one was more on business partnering. Do you know? So each one of them, they were asking you different questions because they're looking for different things in the HR, at least in the person that they wanted to recruit. So there are different questions, like taking you from all the angles. Oh, wow, sounds very difficult. Easy. Sounds very difficult to me. And so that's how you started working in Philips. And how long have you been working there?
So actually, day after tomorrow, on 7th, I will complete 7 years.
7 years, yeah.
Of July, 7 years with Philips.
So what do you do right now in Philips? What is your position there?
So I'm managing, we call it in our company different hats, because a person is not doing only one thing. We are doing different things. So I'm an HR business partner. for one of our businesses. It's called Consumer Goods. So for those of you who know Philips brand, we sell a lot of air fryers, things in the kitchen, mainly if you are,
right?
Yeah, food processor, coffee machines, irons, vacuum cleaners. So it's one of the businesses that I'm managing as an HR business partner. And the other one, it is in healthcare. So we are selling a lot of equipment for medical sector. So MRI machines, CT scans, a lot of healthcare products, and installing them in hospitals. So I'm supporting also the services team. So different challenges from both sides, because they are completely different businesses and the requirements are different. So for consumer goods, it's a very young team, things are moving very fast, because the consumers, they are moving very fast. There are a lot of products coming into the market. We sell a lot online, digital, through the online shops, through Amazon, through Noon. So it's very dynamic business. Healthcare is more stable. You need to do contracts with the government. You need to install the products. You build hospitals together with the government. You do the installation of the machines and so on. So it's more stable business.
That's what like Philips is doing right now, right? But like Aida, what about you? What is your position in Philips? Like you are the manager, director.
My title today, it's HR director. So I have a team of 4 people reporting directly to me, all based in Dubai office. I'm managing people in Dubai, in Saudi Arabia, and in Turkey. So we are a Middle East and Turkey scope. So my day, it's from mainly supporting managers, supporting business leaders to recruit people, to recruit talent, to manage our workforce, to do performance reviews for our employees, to retain our talents, because the good people, they are always poached by other organizations. So to manage their talent, to manage their career, how to grow in the organization, moving them to different roles, taking bigger roles, hiring new people, onboarding them. So this is my day-to-day job. So
and talking to a manager, what?
No, working very close with the managers, with my leaders and my managers.
So we are talking right now with an expert in the human resources overseas. I actually I really want to hear things that you told me when we met in Dubai about, how, what is the process now that we're trying to enter a little bit in the process of companies to recruit people. How is, Dubai as a technological city, and you're working in one of the biggest multinational companies. Can you tell us a little bit what is the process that these multi companies, how you say? My English, I'm totally still, and it's still totally jet lagged. I just arrived a few hours in the US and it's still, but anyway, what is the process that company takes to recruit people, like in Dubai or in general, as your experience?
So we are looking for people. So our own process, it is, of course, you have the job, either because we are growing, so we need more employees, or we have employees who are leaving, going either back home or going to other organizations. So we have different positions open. The first point, it is we have a talent acquisition team, a recruitment team, that they are posting the roles. So if you want to join Philips, for example, and you want to apply for a job in Philips, there are mainly 2 channels how you can do that. Either you go directly to the Philips career website. So most of the multinational organizations in Dubai, they have a career website. So as long as you know the name of the company, you go to their website to the UAE website, you go to the career website, and you find the jobs. So this is one channel that we are using a lot. All our jobs by law and by our policy, we need to post them on our website. So we do not have any jobs that we fill in internally and we don't look outside the organization. So all our jobs, we post them. The other point, it is LinkedIn, which became very much the main engine from where we are attracting candidates. So all our jobs, we post them on LinkedIn. And we have a recruitment team. It's based, they are based in Turkey, in our office in Turkey, that they are screening CVs and selecting the candidates.
Wow, like one second, like, you know, like the importance, like we didn't know in South America, what is, like, how important is LinkedIn now for the companies? Now you're telling us that Philips post the jobs in LinkedIn. You know, most of the people, including me, I had no update my LinkedIn in a very long time. And I even just opened it like less than a year ago because I didn't think it was important. So
working in HR, and sometimes I make the same mistakes because I love my job. I'm not interested to look around, and people, they think that they should update their CV only when they look for a job, which is not the case. You need always to have your LinkedIn updated with your most up-to-date experiences, trainings, jobs, because recruiters, they always do the search via, they have search engines, so they do post different words from the job description. So I have a role with a job description. So the recruiter will go on LinkedIn and put those keywords that is required for that job, and then the CVs will pop up. So if your CV is very basic on LinkedIn, if you put just your job title and you didn't put exactly what you work, so like a normal CV, you need to put also on LinkedIn your full CV, or at least the critical keywords of your experience. Because when they do those searches, your CV will not be selected if you put only your job title, for example. So LinkedIn is very important because nowadays there are no, most of the organization, they want to save money on recruitment. They have their internal teams that they are recruiting. And for example, in Philips, we do not work with agencies. We do not use recruitment agencies much because they cost money. So we have our internal recruiters, and we mainly use LinkedIn. LinkedIn and our career website, like we get a lot of applications on our own career website.
So now that we are talking about the recruitment process, like if I were, for example, a person from South America, what would you recommend me if I'm looking for a job overseas? What are the main characteristics that a company or companies in general are looking in the selection process? What are those skills and, I don't know, like abilities maybe?
So I think first of all, you need to have well-built CV. So well-built CV, for example, take a little bit of time to write a nice CV.
What is that? Well,
so there are some websites, free websites, that they help you how to write your CV, how to build your CV. There are even templates. There are even templates in Microsoft. If you go to Microsoft Word, they will give you a lot of templates on how to build your CV. So take time to actually put a little bit of effort in the way your CV looks like. Make it very sharp in the way of, don't put a lot of pages. At least two pages, it's enough, as long as you captured your critical experience that you have and your skills. I think one of the skills is language. Definitely, if you want to work abroad, you need to speak English. That is a mandatory thing. The better you speak, the more opportunities you have to express yourself, to tell who you are. If you don't speak well English, it will be very difficult to tell the people who you are. Now there are interviews. One of my friends recently applied for a job, and they told her, we want you to send us a video of yourself. So tell us who you are on a video. So now they are using a lot of artificial intelligence in recruitment. So the first screening process, there is not a person spending time and interviewing you. They tell you, okay, do a video of yourself of 3 minutes or 5 minutes. Tell us who you are in this video and send it to us. And only if they like what they see, they will call you for an interview. Because today there are a lot of, for one role, for one job in Philips, we receive something like 500, 600, 1,000 applications. So you need to do something different for you to be selected.
Wow, starting by TV and the linking.
So language is one thing. I think nowadays, and I think it's even more critical now is the current situation, it's online skills, digital. So there are a lot of jobs, hot jobs, let's say, in digital marketing, how to sell or how to do marketing on Facebook, on Instagram, on our marketeers. Sometimes they surprises me so much. So how do you advertise on they put advertisements everywhere, on Instagram, on Facebook, on Philips websites, everywhere. So digital marketing is very important. E-commerce sales, like Amazon, this type of skills, how to sell online. So these type of skills are very important. Analytics, it's a lot of, at the moment, even in HR analytics, how to gather data, how to analyze data to be able to make decisions. So these are some of the hot skills that they are really required with this new age that we are all living in. Computer skills, definitely. Project management. So what is not very much required in Dubai, and I see it more and more, and we do it in our company, and I see it done in a lot of organizations, is more like back office type of jobs, because this type of jobs, they start moving them to low-cost countries. So for example, in our...
Yeah, like what type of jobs?
Like an example, let's say payroll in HR. I have a person who's processing payroll. I moved that job to Turkey. So she's doing the payroll and paying our salaries, but she's sitting in Turkey because Turkey, it's a low-cost country. Like it's not as expensive as Dubai. Call centers. If you have the call centers that they are talking with our customers or planning the jobs of our field service engineers, also they are based in Turkey because they speak English, they speak some of them Arabic, so they can do the job from Turkey. So more and more organizations, they are moving the jobs of more support jobs, they move them to countries that they are not as expensive as Dubai. So in Dubai, you'll always see in HR, the HR business partners, the HR admin sitting in Dubai. In marketing, they will always be in Dubai because they are facing the customers. Sales, they will always be based in Dubai because they always interact with customers. So all the customer-facing jobs, they will always be based in Dubai. Those cannot be done remotely from a different country.
So basically, those type of jobs are more needed, like in high-tech countries, like for example, the analytics, marketing online, computer skills, project management, and we're saying customer-facing jobs because they need to see the culture. But like for example, if I do not work in anything related to like marketing online, and I am like, for example, looking for a job in a bank, do you still think that we need these skills like marketing online? Do we need that? Like,
it depends. These are skills that you need them to be up to the new world that is around us. But if you are, even in banking now, everything is online. So you need to have these computer skills, and working online, it's becoming really, really critical for everyone. So this type of skills, if you are still new, or if you are still learning, or you just finished your university and you want to build your CV or you want to build your capabilities, these are the skills that you should invest in, like digital, anything related to digital. But if you are a banking person and you want to work in a bank, then do digital related to banking. If you are in marketing, then try to do some online trainings that they are linked to marketing, to digital marketing. So depending where you want to work in, what is your qualification, build up your experience and your capabilities in digital. I think that is something that all of us require. I am working in Dubai for 17 years. I'm not that good in computers, but I see it more and more that I need to learn more, even myself.
Wow, so technology is very needed. It's not only because of the situation of the COVID, like it's in general, it's okay.
In general, we are going more and more online with jobs, with offers, with sales, with advertising, with marketing. Mostly, look at all of us, we are all the time with our phone in our hand. It's everything, how companies approaches us. Just look at your Facebook page and see how many advertisements you see. And then you see one of them is Philips always popping up in there because, and the moment you looked at it, then more and more advertisements will come to you. The moment you checked one, they will start sending you advertisements. So they will attract you as a customer.
Wow.
Because yeah, we spend most of our time online now. We are always on Facebook, we are always on Instagram, on LinkedIn, online on Google. So these are the channels that companies approaches their customers nowadays.
Well, it's very interesting, because sometimes we do not think like, I'm not a technological person. I actually am trying to do my best because, you know, I'm working now in a YOLO, everything is basically online. So for me, even that using the Zoom at the beginning of the COVID, it was like, what is this? Why do we need to do this? It was a very tough moment, you know, but now more and more, as you say, it's becoming everything more technological. And wow.
I took a training myself a few weeks back on how to deliver. So as an HR person, I always deliver trainings to my employees on performance management, on continuous feedback, on different trainings I'm doing for our employees and for our managers. But now I'm working from home since March. So I had to take a training myself on how to deliver the same training, but virtually on Teams or on Skype for Business, and how to keep the people engaged, because people, they will stop their camera and you don't know what they are doing behind it. So you need to use whiteboards, you need to use polls, you need to use different tricks on how to keep people engaged. And it's not easy for me to learn. So I had to go through a 3 days training, how to deliver training online.
Wow, that's is that, you know, for some people who are, you know, like we don't think that technology is very important, you know, but now you're telling me, so now I will start doing those courses to get more more skills in technology, because for me, you know, I thought it was not important. Let's move to the next question, and we have questions waiting, but we are going to ask those questions at the end. So what do you think a person should need to start applying for a job overseas? For example, you were telling us how important is LinkedIn, how important is having a CV updated. What do you think if a person in South America and I really want to work overseas, I have these skills, I speak English, I have already a degree, what do you think I will need to start applying for a job? What are the maybe documents, or I don't know, what do I need to start applying?
So definitely you need your CV to apply, so well done CV. And then you need, for each, what I learned also myself recently, when you apply for a job, for example, make it a little bit more personal. So you don't just send your CV and that's it. So it's called cover letter. They call it cover letter or introduction letter. So look at the job description, what the employer needs for that job, and tell the employer why you would be the right candidate for that job. Because my experience in my previous job, it's exactly what you need because you put it in your job description. The skills that they post in job description, make it personal, like I am good at this and I am good at this and this is what you are looking from your candidate, and I can bring that to you because I have that experience. So in your introduction, when you write an email on LinkedIn, don't just drop your CV and that's it. Make also a short introduction of yourself and why would you be the preferred candidate or the best candidate for the job. Because sometimes that introduction catches the eye of the recruiter. Don't be afraid also you need to spend a lot of time on LinkedIn and on the websites of the companies that you want to work for. So just do a research, what are those companies that you'd be interested to work in Dubai, and then go to their website, learn a little bit about what they ask from people and try to apply online to those companies. Don't be afraid to go also for jobs that they are not yet, if you have, for example, a high qualification, you finished a bachelor degree, but you find a job working as a receptionist in a hotel. I know nowadays the hotels are not that popular because they are mostly closed, but that could be a good entry for you to travel abroad and to start working in a company. And while you are here and you established yourself and you are settled, then you can start looking for other jobs that they are more closer to your qualification. So hospitality is always a good entry point to move to a new country, especially if you are young and you just finished university and you want to explore a little bit and you want to learn a little bit about people and nationalities. Working in hospitality could be a good entry point. Another good thing, if you are already in your country and you have, for example, offices of a multinational organization, for example, you are in your country and you have a Philips office there, try to get an internship, for example, with Philips in your country. And then if you apply for Philips in Dubai, for example, and you had already an internship in your country, that will be a really good point, because people, they'll think, okay, you did already an internship in Philips, so they can look at it and they will search it in your CV also. So these are some of the, let's say, tricks that you can do.
Perfect. I think I already asked you what are the main characteristics that a company are looking for, you know? And then can you just tell us a little bit about like in general, what will be the profile that most interested, that the companies are more interested for? Like at least to have a chance to have an interview. What do they, you know, what will be my profile? What should be my profile? So I get like at least the companies look for my CV or my LinkedIn for an interview at least.
So definitely language. You need to have certain education, like at least a bachelor degree. If you want to work in a multinational organization, you need to have a bachelor degree. Could be in marketing, could be in sales, could be in HR, could be in finance. That doesn't should be somehow more or less linked to the job that you are applying for. You need to specify what are your skills, like your computer skills, if you had certifications in digital, if you had any type of trainings that you did, you need to specify all of them to show that you have some knowledge. Then whatever experience you have, the smallest experience, put it in your CV. So your previous experience, internships that you did. If you are already at the beginning of your career and you don't have too much experience, put at least if you did internships and what you learned during those internships. That will help also. In terms of competences, you need to show that, I don't know, you are like a problem solver, or mostly like analytical thinking, working well with colleagues, like teamwork. So you need to express those type of competencies, or like you like to work, your working style and working with colleagues. that you are able to adapt or to change and so on. So you need to specify those in your profile.
Perfect. Aida, what is the process that the companies take to recruit people? What do they, like, do the people have to go online directly to the companies? Can they apply maybe on those websites that we see everywhere for applying jobs? For example, I'm registered in Indeed.com. I don't know if it sounds familiar. Like, or what is the process? Where can, you know?
Yeah, so the easiest ones and the ones that they don't cost you anything, it is LinkedIn, directly the websites of the companies. So just go and look, for example, go on Google and say best places to work in Dubai, best companies to work for in Dubai. And they will give you like the best 100 companies to work in Dubai. Then go to see which one are the ones that you would be interested in.
Okay.
Because maybe you are not interested to work in oil and gas, or you are interested more in aviation, for example, in airlines or in hotels, or you are interested in Amazon or Google or Facebook or something like that. I don't know. So go to those websites and apply directly. Definitely some of them, they have open jobs, and put alerts. Because every time a job pops up, you can get a notification that they have new jobs. There are a lot of also agencies, recruitment agencies that you can enroll with, like Gulf Talent, or I'm not very familiar, but they are quite a lot of recruitment agencies also that you can register your profile with them. But you need to spend a lot of time, and you need to be very active. You need to keep your profile always updated and be active in searching, because most of the companies nowadays, they are using LinkedIn, their own website pages. Definitely there are groups of people or associations that you can enroll. It never hurts. But the most of the websites that organization look for is LinkedIn and their own website. Of course, if you are more of a managerial position, executive position, then you can work with agencies, with recruitment, executive search agencies.
And do you think like they are like, for example, you know, if I'm living overseas, I had never worked overseas, basically. I'm from, I don't know, I am in Ecuador right now. And then I see a job, like sometimes, you know, we have some fake advertising. So how would you think I will recognize if it's a true one? It's not a fake one. It's nothing like, you know, they will probably ask me for paying my own visa or pay the money. That's actually sometimes scams. How can I recognize it's actually it's not fake, an advertising?
So definitely, if anybody is asking you to pay for something, then it's fake. No multinational organization will ever ask you to pay for an application or to process your CV or to even bring you to Dubai. So as an organization, a multinational organization, if I recruit you from Ecuador, for example, I will process your visa, I will pay for your ticket to come to Dubai. So those agencies that they will ask you for money to look at your CV or to help you to find a job in Dubai, they are not really professional organizations. So you should not fall into that trap. It's better to look on LinkedIn. It's better to go directly to the websites of the companies that you want to work for. But definitely in Dubai, the companies that you really want to work for, they will never ask you for money to do anything. To bring you on board, they will never ask you for money. So when I've been recruited from Romania, and it was 17 years ago, so things have evolved and they are much better than then. Again, I received a ticket, I received my visa, and I flew to Dubai. So I didn't have to pay for anything. But at that time in Romania, there were a lot of fake companies that they were just taking your money and then disappear.
Sorry, I'm just outside, so you know, I'm outside full of nature, and this bird is right now just making some noises. Sorry to interrupt you. I wanted to put in mute my computer, but look at this. Something that doesn't happen in Dubai, right? We don't wake up with a lot of these little birds around. Aida, while you were talking, it came to my mind a question, but this bird makes me forget. So maybe just let's go for the question that people is asking. So to kind of move a little bit, which one is the best platform to be present in order to look for a job abroad? I think LinkedIn.
I think LinkedIn is the best one.
Perfect. And what type of skills are needed in international relations major? Let me see. What will be the best way for an applicant to make a difference in their LinkedIn profile? That's another question. That's probably an interesting question. What will be, you know, the difference that they need? No, what are the things that they probably need to highlight your LinkedIn profile?
Yeah, so I think in the LinkedIn profile, so if I look at this question with hashtags or logarithms, a lot of recruiters, they will put different words. For example, if you're working, they're looking for a customer service type of job, so they will look for words like teamwork or customer centricity or customer success, or words like that linked to that type of job. So you need to ensure that in your profile you have this type of words for them to be able to pop up your CV. So for me, like teamwork, working in teams, leadership, continuous improvement, problem solving, analytical thinking. These are some of the words that you could have in your agile change management, like able to change, able to adapt. These are keywords that you can use in describing your previous experience or in your trainings or in your qualifications, because this will be the words that get picked quite quickly on LinkedIn.
Aida, I remember now. I remember when you were telling me, when we talk in person, we were talking about how the companies recruit, the process of recruiting people, right? You were telling me some of the companies receive like thousands of CV. What is the technology, what is the process that they use to get to that CV that it calls their attention?
Yeah, so definitely on LinkedIn, we are receiving for a job around 400, 500 CVs, applications for one job. So the recruiter definitely will not have time to open and read 600 CVs. So on LinkedIn, they have a search engine where they put critical words. So exactly what I was explaining. Okay. They put critical words that they need for that job. And those critical words, you pick them from the job description. Now, it is difficult to adapt your CV every time to fit a specific job, because your CV on LinkedIn is generic. So try to catch in your CV most of the words in the field that you are working. So if I work in HR, for example, I would put HR business partnering, HR analytics, continuous improvement, problem solving, being agile, talent management. These are some of the words that for a person working in HR, they are critical for a job. If you are working in marketing or your qualification is mainly marketing, try to capture those words that they are critical in marketing. So in your experience, in your job title, in your introduction at the beginning of your profile, try to use keywords that can be easily picked up by the search engine.
Oh, okay. So now they use this search engine to look for CVs. So for example, if they have 10 CVs that they selected, how will I make my way to be interviewed? What is the key? that my CV or my LinkedIn have to have besides the critical words? So there is something else that should we consider?
So of course it's important, the university that sometimes it's important, like if you are graduated from a very well-known university, that could be one good plus point or white ball, let's say. If you had an internship in a multinational organization in the past, or if you worked with a multinational organization that has a big name, also it could be something that can catch the eye of the recruiter. So these besides all the other points that I made, I think it's important to capture these things.
And how my profile in LinkedIn looks like, for example, what are the recommendations sometimes, like to put a photo? If I put a photo just with my phone, or just like
No, definitely LinkedIn is not Facebook. LinkedIn is not Instagram. So use a professional photo. I'm not saying go and pay money for it, but if you have a photo taken, a nice photo that you take for a profile, for I don't know, passport, or for something like that, which is more formal, I think that it's a nice photo that you should put on your LinkedIn. Definitely, sometimes I don't like when people, they use like a photo on the beach or something like that for their LinkedIn profile. LinkedIn, it's mainly for professional people, so you need to use a professional photo. Another point that just popped in my mind when you mentioned, you need to be very careful also with your Instagram and your Facebook, and with your social footprint that you have there, or your digital footprint, because most of recent recruiters, they have a tendency of searching also online. So once they get interested in a CV, they will put your name on Google, for example, and they will see who you are as a person. So try to keep your Instagram and your Facebook profile private. Open it only for your friends, for your network, but don't make it public. Whatever you make public, make sure that is something that will not make a recruiter say, okay, I don't think I can recruit this person in our organization, or this person might not fit in our culture. You know, so
culture also.
Yeah, it's interesting that nowadays I see recruiters that they immediately after they see your profile on LinkedIn, they go on Google and start searching to see if anything weird pops up.
Wow.
Yeah, it's because everything we do digitally, whatever we put, it's out there. So we need to be a little bit cautious on what you put on, first of all, for your own privacies, because you don't want people to know who you are, or like also for security, or for to be safe, for your safety. But more and more, even for recruiters now, they are looking at your profile online.
But if my profile is in private, for example, my Instagram is private, for example, right? Like, they be able to see it?
No, they will not be able, but I've seen a lot of people that they are for either for lack of knowledge or intentionally, they leave their profile public.
Oh.
So you can see a lot of things about them, photos, personal information, you see it available on Facebook or on Instagram, because they leave their profile public.
Okay.
Post,
and
yeah.
what?
No, like if you have a certain opinion about a certain thing, and that will, I don't know, if it's something against what the company stands for, political or religious, or I don't know, it could be that the company will say, okay, but we do not accept this type of racism in our organization, or we are very inclusive, we love diversity, and this type of thinking is not in line with our values as an organization.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I was going to ask you another question, but I get very distracted listening at you. It is valid to put a little experience in LinkedIn. Will be unnecessary or irrelevant? Little experiences, like little jobs.
Little jobs. For example, if you are already quite experienced, if you, for example, you have like 15 years of experience, doesn't matter what you work the first year that you are. For example, in my personal profile, I don't put that I was a waitress or my experience of 1 year internship in Romania, because it's no longer relevant for who I am today, because I have such a long experience. But when you are just 5 years of experience, even those small experiences that you had before would be important, like internships that you did, temp jobs over summer. Those are important when you have just little experience. But once you start building 10 or 15 years of experience, those small experiences at the beginning, they don't matter that much. You maybe put just the company name and the title, because recruiters also sometimes they look at the gap, if you have gaps in your employment. So if you say you finished university in 2000, but your first job was in 2005, they will think, okay, what did person did for the first 5 years? But if you had some small jobs in between, you can put the title, the company name and your title, like your job title, and that's it. You don't need to put too many explanation what you did and so on. But if you are quite new, you just graduated, it's important to put your internships, your temp jobs, your summer jobs, and every type of experience that you build.
Aida, the introduction in LinkedIn is very important. For example, I have my LinkedIn, first is not updated. Second, I do not interact with anybody LinkedIn. Is that interaction with like where I put a like, where I comment, is that important? For like, look at job, for
I'm not very active personally. I'm not very active on LinkedIn, but I have a friend who's looking for a job for quite a period of time recently, and she was telling me that it's extremely important, but only if you have something to say. So yes, you can like certain postings, you can put your own posting if you have an opinion, or you can comment on a posting of someone, but only if you have a relevant comment.
Yeah.
Because just putting yes, I agree with your opinion doesn't add too much value. So if you have something that you can teach others, that it's important for others to know, you can post it. It's important, because then when people search on LinkedIn, they will see that you have quite an active, also an active experience on profile online. But make sure that what you post is relevant, that people can learn from it, or comments that you make for people learn from it. Not just for the sake of having something out there.
Are recommendations in LinkedIn important? Like for example, LinkedIn, sometimes I can ask somebody who worked with me to give me a recommendation about my skills, about my professional career or something like that. Are those recommendations that in LinkedIn important? How?
They are important, because they describe, especially the ones that they are written words, like comments, not necessarily the ones where I recommend this person for I don't know, problem solving, or for HR talent management, because those are just you have a number of skills, for example, could be important. But I think the ones where people actually recommend you, why they recommend you, what did you do different, what was so special in you that they recommend you, those are important, because those can count also as references. So when you get a job, they can count also as references, especially those people that recommend you at one point, they have good positions or they work in good organizations, then those type of references are good.
Okay. Guys, we can jump into the questions. If you have any questions, this is the moment for you to ask. So Aida can answer the questions. So let's go for the questions. Wendy is asking us, do the companies have interest in soft skills even more than your expertise?
So expertise is very important. If I look at soft skills, what I see, for example, communication skills, presentation skills, these are soft skills, change management skills, leadership, managerial type of skills are very important, So it's not only your expertise, but also the way, in Philips, we call it the what and the how. So it's very important what you know, like what is you are expert in, but how you do it, how you behave, how you talk, how you interact with others, it's as important as your expertise. So you could be a very good expert in finance, for example, and I will give you a quite clear example. Like I have a finance director that is really, really good at what he's doing. But when it's coming to managerial skills, is not that good, because maybe he doesn't know how to behave with his team, how to engage his team, how to keep them always engaged, how to help them to grow in their career. So even if you are expert in your field, but you don't have those soft skills, maybe you don't reach very high level in an organization, because your technical skills help you up to one level, but then your soft skills makes you grow also, like how you are as a leader, how you are as a manager, how you interact with your colleagues. Are you a team player? Do you like to work on independently? You don't interact with your colleagues. So those soft skills are also very important.
I don't know if you have more questions, but for me, actually, I would like to know, Aida, do you think like having an international experience helps me? For example, I am a student, I just graduated from university, and I have an experience working overseas for just 4 months. Are those little experiences important? Like will they see my CV is already kind of internationally?
Yes, definitely. And we have some programs also in Philips, not in Dubai, but I know from our office in Netherlands, and also in my previous company, where they were sending the interns for 6 months to Dubai, and then they were going back to their home country and continuing their career either with the same company or not. But definitely these short experiences are very important. Even myself, when I'm already in my role, I went for 6 months to US for a 6 months assignment, and that helped me so much in my career, because my whole experience is in Dubai. I never worked abroad. Like this is more like home country for me, and I was afraid to work abroad. And I was afraid even to apply for a job in Netherlands or to apply for a job in Romania, in my home country, because all my experience is in Dubai. So going for this short assignment showed me that, yes, I can work in another country. I can be successful also in a different country. So definitely a short assignment or a short internship, it's very important and looks really good in your CV. Like recruiters will look at something like that.
Perfect. And also I think because maybe the employers will see that you are able to adapt yourself culturally, you know, like you're coming from South America, but you're coming from South America, but then you will be interacting with people from all over the world, you know, who will be in Dubai, who will be in anywhere. And then, you know, requirements will see that you actually adapt yourself. So that's also, I think, important, right? Somebody's asking us, if I just
finish university, it will be better if I get an international internship and that international master's. What I found very important with the master's, it is that you should get a little bit of experience before you get a master's. So I don't know in other countries how it works, but I recall when I did my master's in Romania, I was fresh after I finished my bachelor, and I did my master's. I didn't know anything. Everything was theoretical for me. But when I did my second master in Dubai, I was already working in HR and I was doing a master's in HR. It helped me so much in understanding what they are talking about, because every time I was learning about theory, I could easily link it with what I was doing in my day-to-day job. I had examples. I could connect what you're teaching me with what I'm doing in my job. So I think it's important to have a little bit of experience. Definitely, if you want to do an international master's, it's important to have an international internship or to work a little bit abroad. But my advice is before going into a master's, learn a little bit, experience a little bit, work a little bit, and then go for a master's. Or if you want to work for a longer period of time, check what you really love to do and then do a master's in what you love to do. Like I did my first master because I finished Bachelor and I was not ready to work. I was so afraid to go and start my life and my work. So I said, you know what, I'm going to do 1 more year master's and then I will start working. But it didn't help me much because I was fresh from university. I didn't practice anything. But when I did my master's in Dubai, I had so much knowledge and I could make the connections and linking the knowledge, what they were teaching me with what I was working, and I got more value out of it. Plus, I did a master's in the field that I want to work in, not just a theoretical type of master's.
Thank you, Aida. I don't think we have more questions. Do we? Yeah, thank you so much, Anna. Anna, say thank you so much. Do we have any questions, chicos? We have more questions. I think if we keep sitting here, it will be very sunny for me soon. So I don't think we have more questions, but I do want to ask you one personal question, Aida.
Yes,
oh, well, somebody's asking something. If I have applied to a lot of job positions and I haven't been successful to get an offer, what can be the thing I have to improve? Oh, because companies don't answer. Companies do not or give you feedback.
Usually they do not send, especially if you are rejected before you are, if you are not selected, let's say, before you have a chance to have an interview, then you don't know the reason why. But if you have interacted with a recruiter, they have, okay, I read that also. So it's important to try to reach out to the organization but again, it's sometimes difficult because if they have like 500, 600 applications, they will not interact directly with each candidate to tell them what. But if you reach already to an offer stage and you have been rejected, then try to talk to the recruiter. What are the reasons, like what you could do different, or the things that you think you're lacking, that's why you have not been selected.
Or maybe sometimes could be the CV, like something is probably, you know, like in South America, I don't know how it's in Romania, but in South America, we make so many mistakes when we want to apply overseas. We put the photo, we write more than 2 pages. It's another, you know, it's different the way that we write our CV in South America as the CV that should be crossing borders. It's very different. Maybe the format is not correct. Maybe ask somebody probably to check your CV, or look online how a CV will be the correct format to apply overseas, because it's not the same. I don't know where you're from, Domenica, but I think you have to probably, you know, to ask somebody who have been working overseas to look your CV. Maybe, you know, sometimes in EduYolo, we do help people to see their CVs as, you know, consultancy one by one. Maybe another person could help you. So yeah, so Maria Gracia is telling us that you skipped me. I didn't see her question. For a person who have never worked in a multinational and is over 30, do you think it will be difficult to reach positions in a multinational, even if it's in a junior position?
Depends. Yeah, we had a lot of transfers. For example, if you work abroad from where you are, and if you have a good experience in your CV, you can still apply for a multinational organization. We are recruiting, for example, in Philips, we are recruiting a lot from abroad, and not necessarily from very known organizations. Definitely, if you worked with our own organization abroad, it's an added value. But we are recruiting a lot from abroad, so we don't recruit. Mainly maybe in sales, we look at local experience, like people that they are already in the market because they know the market, they know the customers, they know the way of working. But many other jobs, we are recruiting a lot from abroad. So we are bringing a lot of employees, not this year because of the current situation, but in general, we are recruiting probably 20, 30, 40 people per year from abroad, not necessarily only from based already in Dubai.
Okay, chicos, we're gonna finish this conversation in the next 5 minutes. If you have any last questions, please, this is your moment. Otherwise, we will probably just finish in the conversation. Aida, I want to ask you something very personal. What would you tell yourself, the younger yourself, based on what you know now?
So I think it was, I prepared that question. So if sometimes I'm asking myself, not in the same way, but more like, do I have any regrets? Or if I look backwards in my life, would I do anything differently? So I think at the moment, I would tell my younger self, like, be who you are and don't change, because whatever I reach, what I am today is more than I dreamed at that time. So the dreams I had then, I exceeded those dreams that I had. It was not easy. It was a long journey, but yeah, I wouldn't do anything differently. I'm really happy with my life. I'm really happy with what I'm doing. I can consider myself blessed somehow, but I wouldn't do anything differently. Just be bold, take chances, like don't be happy with only what others expect from you or what the others around you are doing. Like, if you believe in something and you want to try something, just be bold enough and do it. You might fail, but also you might succeed.
What I can see from you, Aida, is like you take the risk. You're those type of people who I have met, in my life, who I can tell, like cross that bridge, do it, because if you do not cross the bridge, you don't know where it's going to be or what you're gonna find in the other side of the bridge. You are that type of people, and I can tell. I can really tell since the moment that you choose just being very young to just go overseas to a country that you have no clue, and everything that you achieved in your life, I think it was no coincidence. I think you worked very hard for it, and you took the risk. You crossed the bridge, and that's actually amazing in a person. What would you recommend to the people who are listening to you at the moment and perhaps still not decide to take that decision of overcoming their fears and achieve their goals in life? What would you tell them to do?
No, just go for it. Honestly, it's like there is no reason why you should hold yourself, like why you shouldn't try it. Because we have a saying in my country, in Romania, like, a person is always complaining to God that he's not winning the lottery. And one time God is getting very upset and saying, but please go and buy the ticket first, and then I will help you to win the lottery. So if you do not try, and if you do not take a chance and risk, then nothing will come to you. So you need to do something for yourself. You need to be a little bit bold, little bit crazy, little bit. Still cautious. Don't put yourself at risk. Don't put your life at risk. Be safe, but do not be comfortable. I think once you go out of a little bit of your comfort zone, there some wonderful things are happening.
Aida, anything else that you would like to add for in this conversation, or anything that you would like to say besides?
No, I'm happy to answer any other questions. So if you have other questions that they might come to you after this discussion, I'm happy if you send them to me to answer, or if I can help in any way. I know our current lifestyle and what's happening in the world at the moment might be not supporting working abroad and interacting and finding jobs abroad because of different restrictions that the governments put in, but I'm hopeful that somehow in the near future, everything will open up again. And if at any time I can support and I can help, you'll be my channel for that. So you can.
Eduviolo. Yeah. So if you have any extra questions or anything that you would like to know more about it, do not forget, Eduviolo is here to help you, and I will be reaching Aida in the name of you. So I think we don't have any more questions, Aida. I think it has been a very, very amazing time with you. Thank you so much for this conversation with us. You know, sometimes we need that person to tell us what we are missing to find that dream job overseas. So I'm very happy that you actually are here with us. Thank you so much, Aida. Thank you so much, everybody, for being in this conversation of Eduviolo. Remember, every Sunday, 11 in the morning, we meet for a new topic, for a new conversation, for more inspirational people as Aida. So yes, we are here to help you. If you need anything else, just send us a message in Eduviolo. Aida, thank you so much once again. And I would like to see you again when I return to Dubai. Yeah, we will see each other again in Dubai. So Aida, any last word or something? No?
Oh, thank you so much. It was lovely. I was a little bit nervous, but now I feel much better. So I just, I hope that my own experience is inspiring for other people. It's not easy, but it's worth it.
Yes, yes. Thank you so much, Aida. I see you.
Bye-bye.
Ciao, ciao, bye. Oh, wait, one second. Oh, somebody saying it was nice from you to share your life experience, Aida. Inspiring. Yes, very inspiring, Aida. We're very, very happy to have you here, and I hope that someday we will have you again. Maybe with a more deeply conversation about topics like this that are very important for us from South America to know more about other worlds.
Thank you.
Thank you, Aida. Bye-bye.